Hello YouTubies, this is the Scribe. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I want to talk about how sugar poisons the mind. Now, many years ago, there was a study done on prison inmates, right? And they found that the psychopaths there with antisocial personalities and violent tendencies, the more violent they are, the more hypoglycemic they actually were. It was so well connected that a professor came up on YouTube and was discussing about it, how once they sorted the hypoglycemia with these prison inmates, the violent levels dropped automatically. Now, how can this actually work? If you look at somebody who has low blood sugar levels, and this classes anybody, basically anybody with hypoglycemia will feel irritated. They will bark at people. I don't mean that literally, but I mean metaphorically. They will snap at people at an instant if they just feel slightly irritated by them because of the hypoglycemic. And if you solve that, they suddenly become more placid and calm. So how can sugar poison the mind? Let's say you had hypoglycemia for a few weeks. You will find over time you will become people stupid. You will see people as stupid. You will be getting, people will literally be getting on your nerves because you'll be in a crowd of people and they'll be irritating you like fuck. And sooner or later you might start arguing with other people. And that's just after a week. You might even get in a fist fight for all I know. But if you start that way from very early on in life, even in the womb, the damage done to your personality, to what it could have been, could be tremendous. It could be absolutely incredible in that sense. So, for instance, all this irritation that's building up in your body over the years, through decade, where you have moments where you're just incredibly irritated by other people, and then sometimes you feel okay and you might just be a bit charming to them, but you don't care what they actually think. Uh, Over time, this will make your personality more malignant, right? Because of course it will, because you've never known any difference. You've always been irritated with other people. You've always felt this irritation, this hatred, and this is going to turn into contempt. And after a while, you just won't care about other people. I see that happening, certainly in the prison population, right? It gets more interesting than that. Because if you solve the hypoglycemia in all the prison inmates, no matter who they are, even if they've got psychopathic personality disorders, they become more placid and calm, even when they're not told about it. And that's what the study was actually done, and it's long been forgotten. Talk about a fucking psyop, eh? Now, why are they putting so much sugar in people's diets? That's another thing I like to ask, because they know this, they know it causes obesity, they know hypoglycemia makes people more irritated, etc. And they know when you have a lot of sugar in the body, the insulin is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, and make people more cranky. And if it starts from a very young age, it's going to fuck them over. You go get things like ADHD, you go get ADD, you go get things like autism, you go get things like, listen to this, psychopath personality disorder, right? So you get all these conditions that arise because of their personalities being decomposed due to how the sugar is poisoning their mind. They may think they're doing great, right? They may actually think, a psychopath might actually think, when they get to 20, oh, I'm doing great, I'm doing absolutely fine. What they don't realize is, the powers that be somewhere over there who are geeks and, have problems with other people for whatever reason. They might not really have a connection with other people, so they don't actually see the damage they're doing. But what these psychopaths and antisocial personalities don't realize is they're being screwed over by the system, right? And this, it's a bit like filling people with drugs and alcohol, high testosterone, just stick it in there. And if you fill people with enough drugs, they will have, steroid rage. They will have rage from the alcohol, easily irritated. They'll get into more fights. Look how different teenagers are after they've had a good few drinks. They're more likely to get into a fight. They don't do that normally if they're not pissed. I've seen people who are normally aggressive when they're pissed, and you're walking past them at night and they're absolutely fine if they're not pissed, because it just depends on how they're treating the system. All right, so it does actually have an influence. But if you think about this, if you start at a very young age, right, and you're getting all this hypoglycemia and all this irritation, it's going to make you more aggressive as you get older. You're going to develop this antisocial personality disorder, and eventually it'll become so malignant that people won't class you as human anymore. You will literally be a very bad person. And these people are not smart enough. Listen to this. Well, usually not smart enough to reverse that because they don't see anything wrong with themselves. So they can't reflect. And I think the people who are poisoners actually know this as well. Basically what they want to do is develop a sort of a condition where we're all fucking each other over. All right, we all end up probably in prison or something, working for free. That would be perfect for the people in charge. To do away with us and turn us into some type of zombie plague. But that's exactly what I'm seeing. And there's people on the internet right now. I don't understand this. People say trustworthy sources, and maybe they are, maybe they're not, who are saying that psychopathy, etc., is not a genetic condition. It's perhaps, listen to this, it's perhaps a sort of demonic possession. How? Of course, yeah, they do really bad things. They kill people, they manipulate people, and if they want to screw somebody over, they'll be smiling to them as they take somebody out before they shoot them in the face or beat them senseless and snap their neck. Of course, these are the type of people we're actually dealing with, and then rob them. And then they'll go to the parents and say, I'm fine, I don't know where he is. I'll help you look for him. This is the sort of people they actually are. But they don't have a demonic possession. They have a demonic personality. There's a big difference. You cannot say it's an invasion of their body through a possession, because that's totally misleading. And there's people in the alternative media who are saying it's incurable, nothing can be done. People like Robert Hur. And now I'm calling them out for bullshit. I'm saying, why is it that Robert Hur works as an academic? He's a professor, and he works in a university and is well connected to the media. All right, so he should be 100% trustworthy. I actually sense a massive conspiracy here to turn people into antisocial personality types by poison them with sugar. Poison the fuck out of them with sugar to create a sort of antisocial system where as many people can harm each other as possible. And even better, sugar causes ADD, it causes all sorts of diseases, so you can fuck them over that way. So whatever happening, it's going to screw them over. Here's the fucking conspiracy. That is what's happening, all right? And when you look at these prison inmates who also have antisocial personalities, they too are being screwed over by the system. I mean, some of them actually should be hung anyway for what they've done. But many of them can actually be cured if you can just get rid of the damage that's being caused by the poisoning of the sugar. That the sugar poisons the mind. Sugar poisons your mind. It changes a person's personality. If you have decades of eating this sugar crap, this white sugar, in the end, it will cause you massive personality problems because of this irritation you felt throughout the years. It's just one of those things. It will develop over the time. It will literally turn into a dark personality. The possession, so to speak, is very slow, and then you've got parasites that feed off it that make a person feel more grumpy. You've got these viruses that attack the brain, flukes as they're called, that eat ants' brains out. That's also possible with psychopathy. So all sorts of things that's happening, but at least the antisocial parts of the problem and the diseases can be cured by reducing the sugar in the diet. And everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. That's the thing. Everybody knows that sugar is bad. Everybody knows that sugar affects the way you think. Everybody knows that if you eat too much sugar or you have low sugar levels, that you feel irritated. So why isn't anybody in the alternative media actually talking about this? The only people I can see who have ever mentioned it online are the people in the diet industry, people like Paul Chek, for instance. There's somebody called Magnus who's actually said it, and people in the underground wellness movements. They're the only people who actually mention this sort of thing. And also this professor from somewhere. Now, I've said you can't trust everything they say, but he is probably one of the, at the moment, people who can actually change the system around, because it is connected. It's all connected. I actually feel passionately enough that we can actually make a big difference if we just educate people more in this area. And of course, I mean, it's not always going to work out. I mean, look at the amount of drugs people take. We know drugs fucks the mind up as well. We know alcohol does it, but alcohol's got sugar in. They even put sugar in cigarettes, by the way. That's interesting enough. So there's drugs, etc. But it is something that needs to be talked about. People need to know about this. And I think if I'm looking for shills in the community, I have to say that there's some suspicious people out there at the moment who are, saying psychopathy and antisocial personality disorders are completely incurable, and they're not. They label people as psychopaths for the most ridiculous things. And another thing is, right, I think once a person is a psychopath, once they are a psychopath, I don't think there is any real way to actually cure them in a way where you can, get rid of the malignant personality completely. But over time with the correct diet, etc., I think the antisocial tendencies will reduce. That's what I'm getting to. It will reduce so much. If you look at the most intelligent psychopaths who do well in business, etc., they have less antisocial side of their personalities. They've got control of it somehow. They've got control of their condition, which means they do okay elsewhere. But I'm also, the more intelligent a psychopath actually is, the less likely they're going to be hypoglycemic. So the less likely they're going to be antisocial, the more likely to get that part of their personality fixed. It might not be intentionally so, but you can guess that they're not, loading their body with sugar all the time. So sugar definitely poisons the mind. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. Has this video been a bit of a rant or ramble or emotional outburst? I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to get some psychopaths on this page right now. Comment down below how much of a victim I actually look, etc. No, I don't get to that. I'm just after a load of attention, adoration, etc. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. I'm talking bollocks now. See you later. Bye-bye.